guys, this is going to be my episode review for episode 4 of Twisted, but I'm doing this later in the week than I normally do, so the episode was less clear and I came up with things to talk about, but I might be forgetting something that I wanted to mention because it's been 3 days since I watched the episode, which isn't that long. So it's basically every single review now I have to talk about Archie and Danny's mom because they're the two people that I suspect the most. So we now have an alibi for Archie of where he was like on the night that Regina was murdered, but I still think that he's guilty because honestly Regina wasn't even killed until after. I don't know if the party was completely over or just Danny and them had left or what, but I mean, she wasn't killed until like late that night, and Archie could have had the interview and still murdered her, like come back and murdered her, and like just having that interview doesn't necessarily mean that he like didn't do it, but he also could be lying. I'm not entirely sure. If he was lying, he came up with the excuse pretty quickly, I think, in the episode, but that doesn't, he could just be like a really good liar, or he could be telling the truth and he still murdered her, because if you think about it, I mean, he wasn't at the party and Regina was at the party, so if he was going to, like, having the car and being somewhere else doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't murder Regina, because I don't know how to explain this well, because like she was at the party and he was obviously somewhere else, so he wouldn't have been murdering her then, but that doesn't mean he couldn't have later. And because he just strikes me as guilty. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I really think that he's guilty. I also think that Lacey seems to be getting kind of suspicious of him now after everything. Like, she hugged him and forgave him, but she still seems suspicious. I'm hoping that she's becoming suspicious because obviously if he did murder Regina, he's not exactly the safest person to be hanging around. I'm not really sure how I feel about Danny's mom right now. At first I found her extremely suspicious, and I'm still kind of suspicious of her, but I'm actually starting to really like her character, and she definitely doesn't seem to know everything that's going on. Even if she does know something or is involved somehow, there still seems to be a lot that she doesn't know, and she found the necklace at the end of the episode, so that should be interesting because she didn't seem to know where it was before, and I don't know if she like knows like the importance of the necklace or not, but she seemed kind of shocked to see it, so that should be interesting. I think the only other thing that happened that I want to mention is actually like the preview for next week's episode where it showed Danny and Lacey kissing. Honestly, that does not surprise me because I figured it's a teen drama, so of course they're going to like have romance in it, and I was actually thinking the other day that Lacey and Danny there would probably be something between Lacey and Danny just because of how they're setting up their relationship. I feel as if that's where it's kind of leading, because obviously putting Danny with Lacey or Joe somehow is kind of makes sense because they were all like former best friends and they're the 3 main characters, and I feel as if there's going to be something between Joe and Rico. I don't even think there's going to be, there kind of already is, but so it makes sense to like pair off Danny and Lacey, not necessarily like pair them off, but like have a storyline involving them romantically, so that didn't surprise me at all, but I wasn't expecting them to kiss like that soon. So, and I don't know how that's going to happen or what the story is behind that, but I wasn't really surprised that that was there. But it'll be interesting to see what exactly leads up to that kiss and how exactly that happens like that soon, because this episode she was avoiding Danny at like all costs, and then next episode they apparently kiss. So it's going to be interesting to see how it gets to that point. But I think that is all I have to say on this episode. I'm hoping that I didn't forget anything by like waiting to film this later than normal, but I will see you guys later. Bye.